Well, everybody, today we're talking about chivalry again. And if you've ever seen the movie First Night with Richard Gere and Sean Connery, here it is, First Night. First Night. If you've seen this movie First Night, then you know what I'm talking about. Now, First Night, you've got Richard Gere who plays Lancelot, Sean Connery plays King Arthur, and then the lady, I don't know, I forgot what that actress name is, but she plays Lady Guinevere. So if you've seen the movie, Sean Connery and Lady Guinevere, King Arthur and Lady Guinevere, they get married, but Lancelot, he loves Lady Guinevere as well. She feels conflicted. They end up having a love affair, and then in the end, I don't know, everybody gets killed or whatever. So it's it was a pretty entertaining movie. But I didn't realize that in that story, that is the way chivalry had morphed from chivalry was a code between knights for fair play and a code of honor between knights, so that if, someone dropped their sword during battle or somehow you gained an unfair advantage during battle, you would let the other knight regain their footing, regain their sword or whatever, so they could continue on fighting with honor and in fairness, so that you would defeat them fairly, or things like that. But chivalry then shifted to a knight trying to win the love of fair maiden's heart, normally in an adulterous affair type of way. These fair ladies were always married to some kind of nobleman, but then the knight would come and try to win their heart in an adulterous way, which is what First Night portrays in the movie. And I didn't even realize that when I've watched that movie a bunch of times, but I didn't realize that. So Pastor Dalrock writes an article then about chivalry being repurposed by women for women. And he says, women redefine chivalry for team woman. But this didn't happen in modern times, that women did this to chivalry. It happened in the 1100s. Chivalry we love wasn't corrupted. It is the corruption. The women who redefined chivalry to serve team woman were not professors at Oxford, but they were women of old. He names Eleanor of Aquitaine and her daughter Marie de Champagne. He says, if your chivalry comes from the Arthurian universe, King Arthur and the knights of the court, includes Sir Lancelot, then your chivalry is full of corruption with the ideology of courtly love. Courtly love, again, is the idea that the knight would go and try to win fair maiden's heart, and the maiden was not a single woman. She was a married woman to a nobleman. He says this was leading all the way back to Chertain de Troyes, Lancelot, the Knights of the Cart, circa 1177 AD was when this story was written by this author, Chertain de Troyes. Let me look this up here. What does this book look like? Written by, here it is, Chertain de Troyes, Romance, Lancelot, the Knight of the Cart. So this story is an Arthurian legend, one that features Lancelot as a prominent character. And so this author, Chertain, or I don't know how do you say these French names? Who knows? Was the first writer to deal with the Arthurian themes of the lineage of Lancelot and his relationship to Guinevere and the idea of courtly love. It was back in this book in 1177 when it was written. It was a long time ago. This Knight of the Cart in the book, it describes a type of sensual love, and what distinguishes it from other forms of love from mere passion is its purpose or motive, its formal object, namely the lover's progress and growth in natural goodness, merit, and worth as he pursues fair maiden. there. In The Knight of the Cart, Lancelot has become entranced by Guinevere, and in more ways than one is ruled by her in the book. Now, you can see that also in this movie. If you ever watched this movie, First Night, you see that there where he becomes entranced with her. He can't leave the kingdom. He's just seduced by her. And she, of course, in the movie, she is innocent and she's conflicted because she loves King Arthur, but then she has this passionate romantic love. She has beta love for King Arthur, but she has alpha love for Sir Lancelot and Richard Gere in the movie. And so Pastor Dalrock, he makes, the point again that chivalry was corrupted, but the corruption happened much sooner than the defenders of Arthurian chivalry are willing to admit. Arthurian legends predate Lancelot and the cart, but the Arthurian universe, as we know it, with chivalry as we know it, of deferring to women, doing things for women, that came all the way back, or is dated all the way back into the 1100s by a powerful noblewoman who wanted to transform chivalry into a glorification of romantic love and subservience to women. Now, why is this a big deal? You say, who cares? Why is that a big deal? Because the biggest tragedy of this whole thing is that the church seems to have bought this almost totally today. This idea that true love and pure love is romantic love, where the husband wins his wife over with romantic feelings and romantic love, which is not true. That is not in the New Testament. You don't see that anywhere in the New Testament where the husband, if he loves his wife as Christ loved the church, that this is some kind of romantic, courtly love, this chivalry love. That's not true. We got to get rid of that. We got to get this turned around. We got to get this turned around in the church. What the world does out there, whatever. But what we do in the church and what we teach in the church, we got to get that turned around. Because Christ is winning. He is building his church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Until next time, this is the Postmillennial Man.